Every morning before sunrise, when New York was still yawning awake, Daniel Harper carried his violin case down the concrete stairs into the 14th Street subway station. He wasn't famous. He wasn't even noticed most days. Daniel was in his early 40s, thin from skipped meals, his coat too light for December wind. 3 years earlier, he had been a session violinist, small gigs, weddings, background studio work. Nothing glamorous, but enough to survive. Then came layoffs, then rent hikes, then the eviction notice. Now he played underground, where music echoed off tile walls and train brakes screamed over Bach. Most commuters passed without looking. Some dropped coins. A few recorded him quietly. He always played with his eyes closed, because when he played, he wasn't homeless. He was whole.
One night in late January, a storm rolled in fast. Snow came sideways, thick and blinding. Daniel packed up early and climbed out of the subway entrance near Union Square. The wind hit him like a wall. That's when he saw her. Curled beside a newspaper stand, trembling against the wind, a small tan dog, ribs faintly visible, ears pinned back in fear. She didn't bark, she didn't growl, she just watched him. Daniel knelt down slowly. "Hey there, you stuck too?" He reached into his bag and pulled out half a sandwich he'd saved for later. The dog sniffed cautiously, then took it gently. No aggression, no panic, just hunger. The snow piled up around them. Daniel looked around. No collar, no tags. No one looking for her. He stood there for a long moment. Then he made a decision that made absolutely no financial sense. "All right," he sighed. "You're not sleeping out here tonight." The next morning, Daniel brought the dog to a nearby animal intake center. The volunteer scanned her. No microchip. "She'll go into holding," the woman said gently. "If no one claims her in 72 hours, Daniel knew what that meant. How much to adopt her? The volunteer hesitated. Adoption fees, vaccination, registration, around $180. Daniel had $212 to his name. That was it. Rent for a shared couch space? Gone. Food for the week? Gone. He stared at the clipboard. Then signed. He named her Melody because she had come to him during a storm and somehow felt like the start of something. The next few weeks were harder than before. Daniel gave up the couch space. He slept in a 24-hour laundromat some nights, subway benches on others, but Melody never left his side. When he played, she sat beside his open violin case, calm and alert. She didn't beg, didn't bark. She just watched him. People began to notice. "Is that your dog?" a commuter asked one morning. "Yeah," Daniel smiled faintly. "She's my manager." A few more bills dropped into the case that day. Then a woman stopped longer than usual. She recorded 30 seconds. Daniel didn't think much of it. 3 days later, a college student approached him in the station. "Are you the violin guy with the dog?" Daniel blinked. "I guess." "Dude, you're everywhere." He pulled out his phone. There it was, a video titled "Homeless Violinist Plays While His Rescue Dog Watches in the Snow." The clip showed Daniel playing Hallelujah softly while Melody sat beside him, snowflakes drifting past the station entrance. The caption read, "He spent his last dollars to save her. Now she never leaves his side." Over 2 million views. By that evening, it was 6 million. Donations began pouring into a fundraiser someone had started. Musicians reached out. A small cafe offered him a weekend gig. A local news channel requested an interview. Daniel sat on the subway bench that night, staring at his phone in disbelief. Melody leaned against his leg. For the first time in years, Daniel allowed himself to feel something dangerous. Hope. A week later, Daniel received a direct message from a mid-sized Manhattan jazz club. They had seen the video. They wanted him to perform. Paid. Proper stage, proper lights. Daniel hadn't played on a real stage in nearly 4 years. The night of the performance, he stood backstage holding his violin. His hands shook. Melody waited near the wings, lying calmly.
When Daniel stepped onto the stage, applause filled the room. He looked down at Melody. She wasn't afraid. She wasn't restless. She was steady. So he began to play, and the room fell silent. After the show, an older man approached him. "I used to manage studio sessions," the man said. "You've got something rare, not just skill, soul." He offered Daniel a chance to record a small, independent album. Nothing flashy, but real. Over the next months, Daniel played in small venues, enough to rent a modest studio apartment in Queens. Melody finally had her own bed. But Daniel never stopped playing in the subway once a week. Not for money, for memory, for the place where everything changed. One cold evening almost a year later, Daniel returned to 14th Street Station. He sat up where he always had. Melody sat beside him, older now, healthier, fur thick and shining. A commuter stopped and smiled. "Hey, aren't you that guy from the video?" Daniel laughed. "Yeah, that was us." He began to play again, not for survival this time, but gratitude. Coins dropped into the case, then bills. Daniel waited until the song ended. Then he picked up the money, walked upstairs, and placed it quietly into the donation box of the same animal center where he had signed those papers months ago. Melody wagged her tail once, like she understood. People often say Daniel saved Melody that winter night, but the truth is more complicated. Yes, he gave up his last dollars. Yes, he risked comfort and certainty, but what he really saved was himself. Because sometimes, when you choose compassion over calculation, the universe answers back. Not always with money, not always with fame, but with something steadier. A reason to stand up again, a reason to play, a reason to believe. And in the echoing tunnels beneath a restless city, a man and his dog proved something simple. Kindness travels, music carries, and loyalty, once given, never truly leaves.